Hey, here we are. Roxy's with me. We are out in the backyard. And we're going to start reading, aren't we? Yeah, we are. Awesome. So we are already on reading 5. This chapter it's chapter 3. And it's called The Family Dog. That's kind of interesting because I didn't think there was a dog yet, so we'll find out what that is. Nobody ever came right out and said that Fudge was the reason my father lost the Juicio account. But I thought about it. My father said he was glad to be rid of Mr. Yarby. Now he could spend more time on his other clients like the Tuttle Bike Company. My father's in charge of their new TV commercial. I thought maybe he could use me in it since I know how to stand on my head, but he said he wasn't planning on having any headstanders in the commercial. I learned to stand on my head in gym class. I'm pretty good at it too. I can stay up for as long as 3 minutes. I showed my mother, my father, and Fudge how I can do it right in the living room. They were all impressed, especially Fudge. He wanted to do it too. So I turned him upside down and tried to teach him, but he always tumbled over backwards. Right after I learned to stand on my head, Fudge stopped eating. He did it suddenly. One day he ate fine, and the next day, nothing. "No, eat," he told my mother. She didn't pay too much attention to him until the 3rd day. When he still refused to eat, she got upset. "You've got to eat, Fudgy," she said. "You want to grow up to be big and strong, don't you?" "No, grow," Fudge said. Well, that night my mother told my father how worried she was about Fudge. So my father did tricks for him while my mother stood over his chair trying to get some food into his mouth. But nothing worked. Not even juggling oranges. Finally, my mother got the brilliant idea of me standing on my head while she fed Fudge. I wasn't very excited about standing on my head in the kitchen. The floor is awfully hard in there, but my mother begged me. She said, "It's very important for Fudge to eat. Please help us, Peter." So I stood on my head. When Fudge saw me upside down, he clapped his hands and laughed. And when he laughs, he opens his mouth, and that's when my mother stuffed some baked potato into it. But the next morning, I put my foot down. "No, I don't want to stand on my head in the kitchen or anywhere else," I added. "And if I don't hurry, I'll be late for school." "Don't you care if your brother starves?" "No," I told her. "Peter, what an awful thing to say." "Oh, he'll eat when he's hungry. Why don't you just leave him alone?" That afternoon, when I came home from school, I found my brother on the kitchen floor playing with a box of cereal and raisins and dried apricots. My mother was begging him to eat. "No, no, no," Fudge shouted. He made a terrible mess, dumping everything on the floor. "Please stand on your head, Peter," my mother said. "It's the only way he'll eat." "No," I told her. "I'm not going to stand on my head anymore." I went into my room and slammed the door. I played with Gribble until supper time. Nobody ever worries about me the way they worry about Fudge. If I decided not to eat, they'd probably never even notice. And that is going to be the end of this reading. So do what you always do, which is go to Google Docs under read aloud and write down your wonderful summary and what good readers do. You predict, you have questions, you have feelings and thoughts. So awesome. We'll see you next time.